Imagine a country that lives in conversation with water, where land isn't just inherited, but engineered, where color explodes each spring, and even the flatness of the landscape hides centuries of story. Welcome to the Netherlands, a land of wonder, tradition, and innovation. Beyond the canals of Amsterdam and the grandeur of windmills, this small country hides an endless charm in its meadows, stretching across regions like silent green poetry. The Netherlands is a masterpiece painted not with mountains or oceans, but with meadows, wild, cultivated, and meticulously maintained. These spaces are not only visually striking, but are central to Dutch identity and ecological strategy. They are, in every sense, living wonders. Let's begin in the west, in the tulip-rich lands of Lisse. Every year from March to May, this region becomes a living rainbow. Imagine riding a bike past neat rows of tulips, red, orange, purple, and pink, so dense and vivid they seem to pulse with life. Lisse is home to the world-famous Keukenhof Gardens, often referred to as the Garden of Europe. With over 7 million bulbs planted annually, it's a floral spectacle like no other. But the real wonder isn't only in the formal gardens. It's in the fields beyond, the commercial tulip farms that stretch toward the horizon. These meadows represent a unique union of art and agriculture. The Dutch have been cultivating flowers for centuries, and tulips in particular have a storied history. During the 17th century, tulips became so valuable that they sparked the first economic bubble in recorded history, tulip mania. Though the bubble burst, the flowers endured. Today, they are an icon of Dutch resilience, creativity, and global influence. Yet the Netherlands is not just tulips. Travel north and the landscape changes subtly. Welcome to Friesland, a province that feels like a different world. Here, the land sinks and squishes underfoot. You've entered the realm of the peat meadows, or of Weiden, a rich wetland ecosystem that has sustained communities for generations. These meadows are not cultivated in the same way. They're softer, quieter, wilder. The grass is long, the ditches deep, and the air is filled with the sound of birds. Look up, and you may see the black-tailed godwit, a proud symbol of the Dutch avian world, gliding overhead. Friesland's peat meadows are ecological marvels. They store carbon naturally and absorb rainwater, helping to prevent floods. But they are also at risk. Historically drained for farming, they've been drying out, which leads to carbon release. In response, Dutch scientists and farmers are working together to implement polluticulture, a form of wetland farming that allows for economic use without damaging the environment. Crops like reed, cattail, and sphagnum moss can be harvested for use in insulation, biofuels, and even biodegradable packaging. This region is also home to unique rural tourism. In Friesland, you can stay in an eco-lodge by a lake, kayak through nature reserves, or visit traditional farms where cheese is made by hand and meals are shared communally. These are meadows with heart, spaces that hold both natural beauty and cultural continuity. From the marshy meadows of the north, we head south to the Groene Hart, or Green Hart. This area lies at the very center of the Randstad, the urban belt that includes Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, and Utrecht. But unlike its neighboring cities, the Groene Hart remains astonishingly rural. Here, low-lying fields are segmented by dikes, polders, and shimmering canals. It is an oasis of calm, surrounded by some of Europe's most densely populated areas. The Green Hart isn't an accident, it's policy. Protected by national planning regulations, it serves as both a buffer and a breath for the country's busiest regions. It's not a national park, yet it functions like one. Locals picnic by the lakes, children fish in the canals, and visitors cycle through winding routes that pass windmills, dairy farms, and orchards. You can paddle through the Nieuwkoopse Plassen, a network of interconnected lakes and marshes teeming with wildlife, or hike through the Krimpenerwaard, where native flora is being reintroduced to help biodiversity bounce back. These experiences aren't just beautiful, they're healing. In fact, nature tourism is on the rise in the Netherlands, and the meadows are leading the way. But beyond nature and beauty, there's also science. The Netherlands is one of the most technologically advanced farming nations in the world. The fields you see, those stunning meadows, are often monitored by drones, analyzed by satellites, and optimized by AI. Dutch innovation doesn't just focus on productivity, but on sustainability. Farmers are encouraged to adopt herb-rich pastures, rotate grazing patterns, and reduce emissions, all while maintaining the charm that travelers like us fall in love with. Even more fascinating is how deeply cultural this relationship with the land is. Take a moment to talk to a local farmer. He might show you the old family ledger that records soil types and crop rotations dating back a century. She might point to a field and recall where her grandmother planted tulips by hand. In this country, land isn't just ground, it's memory. As a traveler, what makes the Netherlands so compelling isn't just the grandeur of its past, but the intimacy of its present. You don't need to be on a grand tour to be swept away. You can simply sit at the edge of a meadow, feel the breeze, and watch as a heron lifts slowly from the reeds. In that moment, the world slows down. It expands. Even the way people interact with the landscape is different. There's reverence, yes, but also familiarity. The Dutch aren't distant from their meadows. They skate on them when they freeze. They hold festivals on their borders. They protect them not just because they're beautiful, but because they're essential. So whether you're chasing spring blooms through Lisse, exploring wetlands by Canoe in Friesland, or cycling past cows and canals in the Groene Hart, know this: you are not just witnessing nature, you are experiencing a centuries-old dialogue between people and place. This is what makes the Netherlands a wonder. It's not about towering mountains or vast deserts. It's about what happens when land, water, and human care blend into one living, breathing system. One that feeds, inspires, and sustains. If this journey through the Netherlands meadows moved you, if it made you want to step outside and breathe deeper, then take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Wonderland. We're here to uncover not just places, but the soul of those places, the whispers of nature, the legacy of communities, and the awe that still exists when you least expect it. Drop us a comment. Which Dutch wonder would you explore first? Or share a hidden gem you visited in your travels? And don't forget, sometimes the greatest destinations aren't marked by landmarks, but by moments. A quiet bench under a willow tree, a field of wildflowers swaying in the wind, a conversation with a farmer who's never left his land and never wanted to. These are the real souvenirs we carry, memories stitched into the soul of a place. In the Netherlands, the wonder isn't just in what you see, but in how it makes you feel. And for travelers like us, that's the truest kind of treasure. Thank you for wandering with us. Until next time, keep exploring and keep wondering.